Nazi hipsters are now an all but unavoidable certainty. It's certainly going to be a thing to see. Boy, is it going to be a thing to see. But let me expand upon that notion a little bit, as you might be a pinch lost there. So, Kanye West released a song, the name of which I don't think would be wise to utter on YouTube, but the reaction to it has of course been rather unavoidably obvious. Kanye West's song is not satire, it is a weapon of hate. I don't think it is. It's not satire, and it's not a weapon of hate either. If anything, I believe it to be a warning. See, I think it is a lot more clever than people give it credit for. Most people assume simply that Kanye has gone utterly and completely batshit insane, and do not get me wrong, the idea that he's simply crazy as a kitty cat in a tumble dryer, probably the most likely explanation. I shan't lie, it's Occam's razor leans heavily in that direction, but listen to this for a moment, right? He starts the music video with basically a heavy, frustrated intake of breath before he goes on to say, I had everything. I had power, I had prestige, I had authority, influence, and gravitas. I had a family, wife, kids, all of it, and then they took it all away. All of it. They took my kids, they froze my bank account, they've been attacking my position within the industry ever since, and they just keep going. And so, I've decided to become the villain. I have decided to embrace that label and become the thing they hate the most. This isn't a new thing. This has been happening for a decade now under the boot of progressivism. As Kanye's message is quite simple, if you keep pushing someone, sooner or later they are going to spin around and go, no, fuck you, I am going to become your worst nightmare because I hate you. Because we have already been attacked by the people who hate us for a decade now. It is the inevitable process of radicalization when you are under relentless assault by a force that you don't even understand how you've offended in the first place. Now, this is going to lead to the hipster Nazis because it will still be in opposition to the mainstream, who will write articles like this, who will put up posts like this. Imagine artists with 33 million followers releasing a song filled with slurs against black people. America's streets would be on fire, but against Jews, so no one says a word. Firstly, that is a damning condemnation of the African-American populace. Secondly, nobody says a word? Are you shitting me? Are you kidding? Nobody says a word. Oh, they're attacking Jews, so nobody cares. I just asked Grok quickly, okay, how many news articles? Conservative estimate from the sites that Grok could find, 25 news articles since the publishment of the music video. How many social media posts? Again, conservative estimate, 50 to 100,000 posts globally. Fuck nobody talking about this. This is probably the hottest piece of news in the last 2 days, easily. It is being discussed everywhere. But we exist in a situation where we have literal parallel realities to our own. Parallel realities that have been aggressing upon us for a very long time. And the interesting thing is, there is unquestionably going to eventually be some sort of split on the right wing, or more accurately, really, the opposition to progressivism. We've already seen elements of it beginning to come out right now, and one of them is going to be hipster Nazism, in essence, hipster fascism. People who will adopt the paraphernalia of the Third Reich, probably even of Mussolini's little empire there. In all due likelihood, without actually understanding or wanting to understand the majority of the philosophy behind it. And hell, who can blame them? Very few people know what fascism even is at this point, even less so Nazism. Most of the time, people actually confuse the two. as at the moment, the opposition to wokeism, the right, quote-unquote, is a very, very big tent, which includes all kinds of people, including myself, who is still fairly centrist, who is more of an old-school leftist, if anything, although I've hardened over the years, to put it mildly, to the point where I certainly wouldn't fit in with my original ideas 10-odd years ago. But it also includes religious Puritans. It also includes a vanishingly small number of actual Nazis, the people who know what the ideology actually is, a vanishingly small number, even, I will say, of racists as well. Hell of a lot more on the left, but we're being in an admitting mood today. This, as our group begins to gain ground, will eventually see a splintering effect, but all of these various groupings will begin splitting up in the idea that they were the ones who won the culture war to begin with, and now only needs to claim their throne. Again, I'm of the opinion that my position is the most well represented, and I guarantee you, everyone else is of the exact same opinion, that their position is the one that is winning all of this for us. It's going to become rather complicated in the future, is what I'm saying, but this will be a part of it, as the counterculture is probably an even better term for the very, very large tent of the right now, will see stuff like this and will move against it, will reject it, will view it as something to oppose, as a rebellious act, in essence. Why, it's evil, glorification of genocide. Kanye didn't actually do that. Exploitation of pain. Exploitation of... He claims inability to children drove him to Nazism, a grotesque manipulation. No, he's saying that you drove him to Nazism. And even then, I'm pretty sure he means Nazism as in extremism, rather than actually becoming a National Socialist. I would hope and think. Spreading hate with 32 million followers next year, his influence is undeniable. Again, I don't think even Yee truly understands the meaning of the words that he's putting out there in the context of this. Again, Yee simply says, you made me into a monster, okay, look at all of these other people you've made into a monster as well. Again, I am open to the idea that I might be interpreting this a little bit too broadly, and that instead Yee is simply just as put together as a bowl of spaghetti. It is entirely conceivable, but again, I want to give them a little bit more credit from that, because I do think there is a clever message within the song beyond that, and bear in mind too, Kanye has always been a bit of a provocateur. The whole Taylor Swift thing 15 years ago, where he interrupted her speech and stuff. This is kind of what Kanye does. And you could easily argue that he's been on the meds for about 15 years as well, so, the man clearly has some moments of lucidity, you would think. I presume. And again, the core point is absolutely true. We've seen it all this time. Progressivism has been punching down against people for 10 years. They've been cancelling people for 10 years. And the simple fact that they can cancel somebody like Kanye West, somebody who is already wealthy, who is already influential, is already established within the industry, makes it damn clear that they could do it to anyone, and have indeed been doing it to everyone, until eventually you push too far, until the words of your worst nemesis are no longer as heinous to the majority of the populace as you thought they were. Once you have made yourself into the bigger evil, yes, your opponents will reach for any tool with which to hurt you. Now, I will finish by saying, I don't think this is going to bring back actual fascism, mind you, or actual National Socialism. One, because these ideologies are poorly understood at best, and two, we still have a great deal of cultural revulsion towards these ideologies, unlike progressivism and its communism, for example. Communism has simply had a lot better PR than National Socialism has, and will retain that PR advantage for quite some time yet, I think. The simple rejection of socialism, well, should be the rejection of all socialism, as I think we are with the rejection of progressivism and intersectionality, which also borrows heavily, mind you, from National Socialism and outright fascism. We are already equipped with the tools we require to reject the arguments of socialism outright, whether it be of the nationalist or the international variety. Again, there is still going to be a certain degree of a split. There is still going to be a certain group of unironic Nazis, no matter how small they are, and there is going to be a larger group of ironic Nazis who simply use the imagery, much like I believe Kanye is doing, for shock value and as a way to hammer home the message and make sure that it is heard all around the world. Plus, you can criticize the man for a lot, but he does know how to make a beat. I'll leave it at that. Assuming my YouTube channel is still up in a few hours, I'll be playing Dune later today, so that'll hopefully be less interesting. Until then, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.